welcome to Random Fandom Chats. I'm Tandra.
I'm Dee Dee.
And this is Annabeth. And here we talk about pretty much anything and everything that's sci-fi, fantasy, and sometimes one-off related. And today we're going to be talking about the new Beauty and the Beast movie, the live-action film that came out.
Mm-hmm. Now, what did you think of the movie?
I thought it was great. I mean, it was very spectacular. It was visually stunning. The storyline was what I liked. What they they weaved in. It was similar to the animated version, but they brought a little bit more in depth to it, I thought.
Yes, they made it a little bit more adult, in my opinion, and not enough to where it was too adult or anything by any means. But I felt like they gave a lot more definition to the characters. I thought we got a lot more of a good feel for the characters, and they seemed a lot more, three-dimensional rather than just kind of... Because, in the animated stuff, especially for as short as it was, it's kind of hard to really give them a good personality and background, but they really, bumped that up a lot in this movie, I felt.
Yeah, well, there were some things that they brought in from some of the original storylines of Beauty and the Beast.
Some of the more original tellings.
Well, instead of the Beast being just kind of this flat character that she just kind of ends up liking, you had a more in-depth, like there was some reasoning behind him being this cold, not so great character.
That they gave a little bit more backstory with his family and whatnot.
Right, and then there was a little bit more of when they did start to fall in love and all the...
You really felt it more. It was a lot more deep, I felt.
You almost got the idea that he was a pretty good person at first and early on, but that life circumstances, some other stuff just kind of made him kind of cold. And that's how come he got turned into the Beast. And then now, she kind of brought all that back out in him again.
Now, there were quite a few things that watching the original cartoon as an adult, I always picked up on, and there were always some minor things that always kind of annoyed me. Like, for example, if you listen to some lyrics in the song Be Our Guest, it alludes to the idea that when the Beast was transformed, he was only like 11 years old. And I'm sorry, you can't really judge a person on who they are at 11 years old. So that was always kind of a minor annoyance, and they fixed that in this. He was a lot older when he got cursed by the Enchantress and whatnot.
Right. And of course the music was great. They used a lot of the same music from the animated movie.
And they added a couple other songs from, I think some of them were from the original play.
I think. And it looks like it did kind of almost have a play feel in some respects. And then it had an animated feel in some respects because they had a lot of CGI and other things in it. So it just made it a really unique, awesome movie because it was a musical. It was kind of fantasy, kind of a play. It was kind of just a little bit of everything mixed together. Like I said, the visuals in it were just amazing.
Very beautiful. Very, very well done.
Emma Watts' singing was just...
and I was actually kind of surprised. She didn't really have much experience with singing. She actually took singing lessons to do this film.
Which is really cool. I had no clue that her voice was that beautiful. I also love the intricacies when they were showing her father... And there was
like his work.
And some of the stuff they showed him making was just awesome. And then you also had the idea, you found out more about their backstory.
Her
mother's, which was really nice. Also, we were talking kind of after the movie about this a little bit, is you liked how they showed that women weren't as well thought of.
Yes, back in those days in France, women really weren't allowed to go to school. You had some higher-born women that were allowed to go through a form of, homeschooling to where, they could learn to read and be sophisticated, but that was mostly just so they could catch a husband and be more respectable in their fields. But especially the poorer class, women weren't expected to go to school, and it was almost kind of frowned upon if you were allowed to read and whatnot, which they showcased very well, I thought.
Right, and it was also nice that her father not only allowed her to do so, but he encouraged it.
Yeah, encouraged her to be independent and...
Right, and she, had a lot of, not just that she was a bookworm, but she, could
she was extremely intelligent. And I like how they kind of made her more the inventor than her father was, because, she was basically like a washing machine type deal.
Right. I mean, he invented things too, but obviously she put a lot of those talents to use, like handing him tools when he needed them and knew what he'd need next and all that kind of stuff, which was cool. I also liked, we were talking too about how they had a lot of interracial couples, and they showed gay couples and some other cool stuff. I mean, they kind of made the gay stuff a little humorous. But in a fun way, in a good way. Not,
it wasn't anything bad by any means.
No, but they had interracial couples. You know, at the end they had 2 or 3 different couples, and that was great. You know, that they just kind of.
Well, and I like that Disney's going to where they're being more inclusive and things like that. I think it really shows a lot of how they're growing as a company and being inclusive with things like that.
Yeah, I think they're really quite. A lot of the TV shows and other stuff are really quite good at all that. They're kind of keeping up with society, I think, which is good.
Another minor thing that they fixed in this movie that always really, even as a kid, it always really annoyed me that in the town you have this bookstore. First of all, especially in that time period of England, you wouldn't have had a bookstore, especially in a small town like that. Maybe in a larger city like France, but you would not have a bookstore in a tiny town like that. And also, Belle's going to a bookstore to borrow books. She's not actually even buying them.
Yeah.
And I like how they fixed it to where it was just a minister who had books and lent them out to people. I thought that was a nice little thing that they fixed.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. They just had a lot of, it was
a lot of minor things that really made the whole movie come together.
Really.
And even though, I will always love the original animated one, and I'll always have a place for my heart, in some ways, I kind of like this one better. Maybe it's just because I'm an adult now and I can appreciate it more. It's more on my level.
Maybe. I don't know. It's hard to say. I really liked what they did with the characters, like Chip and all the staff that turned into various different things, Lumiere and all.
It kind of annoyed me that they had Mrs. Potts' face on the side of the pot and not on the front where that was her nose. Her spot was her nose. That kind of annoyed me just a little bit. That was a minor thing. It was just kind of a minor annoyance. It looks better when her face is on the other side of the pot.
Now there was a part that I didn't quite understand the audience's reaction to.
I think I know where you can mention.
The spot when you think, they're not going to fall in love in time, and the curse is,
settling in, and everybody's
freezing and they're all turning into inanimate objects and whatnot, and there's a dog, he's a footstool, and he flips over like he's going to have his legs up in the air, but he's still a footstool.
And he even makes this little noise like he's dying.
And the audience all laughed.
I was sitting there going, that is not funny.
I was like, wait a minute.
We as the audience know that it's okay. He's not actually dying.
But it's like he's dead. It's like he's dead.
It's still reminiscent of a dog keeling over dead. It's like, why are you guys laughing?
I know. I was really wondering why that had that reaction. I'm not sure if that was intended on the movie part.
It was also sad because he was jumping around trying to see why everybody wasn't moving. So it was even right before he keeled over, it was still sad. So it's
what on earth? Well, I know sometimes movie makers will make something and the audience's reaction is unintentional for what they were doing.
Very true.
So I'm wondering if the audience...
This is one of those cases.
This is one of those cases where they expected the audience to laugh, or if it just kind of one of those things that the audience kind of did.
Maybe. Or maybe we're all just horrible people.
I don't know. I didn't laugh because I didn't think it was funny.
I didn't laugh. I was sitting there going, oh my God.
And I was kind of surprised everybody else did. I thought, oh my gosh, what on earth's going on there? But otherwise, I really thought... I
thought it was an extremely well done movie, and I actually haven't seen the live action version of Cinderella, so I don't know if this is very comparable to that.
It looks like that's good as well. We just have not
had
a
chance of seeing it.
So maybe we will get a chance one of these days and maybe kind of compare them. But yeah, if you have not seen it, I recommend it.
Definitely,
I recommend owning it if you like to own movies, because this one is one you'd want to pull off once in a while and just watch. So since this was a special, we won't be pulling out a subject for next time. And you catch us on our weekly vlogs that we do on various topics, and on our specials that we do upon occasion on just whatever strikes our fancy at the time.
Alright, and if you guys like this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. If you like what we do, subscribe. Leave us comments below. Tell us what you thought of the movie, if you liked it, if you still like the old cartoon better, if you like them about equal for different reasons, or just what have you. Thanks for watching.
Thanks.